Good evening, everybody. It's Scott with Pratt and Associates Realty. How you doing today? Today is National Love Your Pet Day, so we're gonna go say hello to Romeo. So Romeo, say hey, buddy. What's up, old buddy bear? Yeah. So Romeo says hey. Hopefully the camera got it. But I was asked by a buddy of mine in Alabama who's getting his real estate license. He's a good friend of mine. He asked me, he said, Scott, can you do a video about how you market properties? And it sounds like an easy video to make, especially if you've been in real estate for a little bit. That's easy, just put on the MLS. But no, it's much more complicated than that. And how I market properties is much more complicated than that. I have tried, when I say try, I mean as in it's been part of my thing to go out, and it's hard enough for an awkward ginger like me to make friends, but I go out and I try to make real estate agent friends. And it's really nice. It is so nice to have a contact base of people that are professional, who are in it for, they're passionate about real estate. They're passionate, and they're doing the same thing that you're doing. They're getting connected to other agents, and who are connected to their customer base and their client base. So when you ask these people, hey, I've got this property that's coming up for sale. Do you have anybody in your contact list? No, but I know this guy who specializes in that kind of property, or they like buying in that zip code. I'll have them reach out to you and call you. That's nice. That's nice to have. The past few years, I'd say from 2017 on, it's been fairly easy to just put a listing in the MLS and you'll get calls and offers almost immediately, especially after 2020. I mean, literally, I remember one time I put a listing in my computer, clicked submit, I got up, I turned this way, I was heading towards the door, and I got a call like that. We want to see this thing right now. And by the end of the day, they had me an offer. So that kind of stuff does happen. There will be times where you put a listing in the MLS and it will sit for 100 days. And that was the beginning of my career in real estate in 2010, when everything was still pretty down. I know people think the recovery started in 2009. I didn't see anything jumping, moving, and popping until about 2012 or 2014. So there will be times where you will get business, you'll get listings. I remember getting listings like crazy, but to get buyers to buy them was really hard to do. And that's where we're headed. I'm not talking about any kind of price crash or anything like that, or recession. In my last video, I just talked about how we probably will not experience a recession this year. But at some point in the future, when supply comes back, when the big investment banks sell off a large part of their portfolio, and I mean, sometimes it happens. They buy a bunch, sell a bunch, buy a bunch, sell a bunch. It's just the way the world works. There'll be times where it's really hard to get a listing sold. And when you have tons of agent friends that you network with and call and talk to, and even lender friends, lenders they will put your property on their Facebook page so that, or they have buyers that they talk to all the time. Hey, this agent friend of mine has this kind of listing, exactly what you're looking for on this side of town. Would you like to talk to them? Yes or no? So that's nice to have. When you do, let's say you're a starting off agent, you're wanting to get, you got a listing, congratulations, you're starting off, you got a listing. You want to put in the MLS, but you still want to get a ton of exposure. How do you do that? Ask your brokerage, or if you are a brokerage and you're not on with any kind of like IDX server, find an IDX company and they can take that listing and put it all over the place. Zillow, Realtor, all over the place. And something else that I like to do is also, so I'm a member of two MLSs in Georgia, FMLS and Georgia MLS. That's First Multiple Listing Service and Georgia MLS. And they're great. They have CE classes training. They host networking things sometimes. So I like them. Great exposure. They're the two most common in the state of Georgia. Now there's South Georgia MLS, there's Savannah, Georgia, there's Athens, there's North Georgia, there's Northwest Georgia. But the biggest ones are Georgia MLS, FMLS. And whatever listing I put in there, it gets blasted all over the place. So it is getting internet exposure. If there's buyers who are looking, they might, how did you find my listing? Well, I Googled your area and I found it off of Zillow. Okay, well, that's, figures. So that's a great resource and that's a great tool. But I also like to do my newsletters I will put new listings on my newsletters, my weekly newsletters, to past clients, my sphere of influence, and vendors that I work with and that I have told me, hey, put me on your weekly newsletter. My friend Tori, she's a agent in a different brokerage. She's doing really well right now. I mean, she's knocking it out of the park. And I posted this question on a Facebook group, and she answered, and she says, I actually am a member of several pages in California, like a buy-sell trade in California, because a lot of people were moving from California to Georgia. And she would put listings out there, and people would contact her from California. Hey, we want to see this house. That was Romeo right there. He wants me to play with him real bad. So that's a really great creative method. And I appreciate Tori for telling me that. I can come up with more. I like Facebook Marketplace too. I had a listing last year, and I put most of my stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes agents will tell me or agents in my company say, hey, the seller doesn't want to do that. They don't want the exposure. I will actually get buyers from off the street, not represented, and then I can get their names and information. Hey, if you can't buy this, let me try to get you something else. Well, that's not helping the seller out. Well, if they're not going to buy it, they're not going to buy it. But sometimes they know people who would want to buy it. But also Facebook Marketplace, believe it or not, people do go on there. People will look at it. That is a favor to the seller. I'm bringing people in. Also, social media, talking about it, making videos, doing tours, all those kind of things. Those are great ways to do it. I've got a professional photographer that I have on my listings. He'll take photos. He'll take videos for me if I request that. And I also have something there I can blast out on social media. So that's the basics of it. But if you follow people like Ricky Carruth, one of my favorite freaking brokers out there, if you follow people like him, it's all about relationships. And when you're paying your agent that commission, you are paying them not just on that specific transaction, but you're paying them for their knowledge, their networking base, their all the tools and resources in their brokerage, all the tools and things that they have to pay for per month. But you're also paying for someone to have that lifestyle where they're out networking constantly all the time. So that way, yeah, if I sell your house in less than 30 minutes or less than hey, Scott, can you sell my house for me? Sure. I mean, once we get all this signed, let me call these people and see what they think. Oh, this guy said they're interested. They want to come look at this today. Wow. And I'm paying you that much money to do it that quickly. It's like, yeah, but I worked for years to have that networking base. And I've never had a seller do that way before, ever. So, I know some agents have nightmare clients and whatnot, but that's, that does stink. But knock on wood, I've not had, almost all my clients I've had have been great, good people, and I appreciate them for that. And I'm not just saying it because I'm here on social media, but they have been, and I just haven't had any problems. Can't knock on wood. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that helps. I hope it gives you ideas. Oh shoot, I forgot to mention open houses. Facebook Marketplace, when you put a listing up on there, that's kind of like having like a soft open house. You just have like a rolling, people will call you almost every day. Hey, I want to see this. I want to see this. I want to see this. But open houses are a great way as well. Does that actually get buyers? Yes, it does. I know agents will balk at that. We don't need to do open houses. They don't get no client. Yes, it does. It helps the agent and it helps the seller. And it gets a ton of activity. And as you need to build that momentum. You need momentum. When you're trying to make a sale or you got a buyer, you need momentum. And when you've got a hot property and you put it on an open house, you got it on social media, you got it on TikTok, you got it on all over your IDX. And if it's been a challenge to sell, doing all these things and having the relationships and knowing the right people can get that thing sold quicker. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I know this is a long video. I'll probably put it on YouTube, but I'll do a condensed version for TikTok. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And thank you, Cody, my buddy out in Alabama, for requesting this video. Hope this helps you, bud, and hope this helps the rest of y'all. Have a nice day.